Hello comrades, welcome back to another juicy workout. Today I'll be coaching you through a full leg day workout. Unlike my previous leg day workouts where I took you through a hamstring focused leg day and a quad focused leg day, today I'm training the whole shebang. I'm training all the way to failure, absolutely demolishing my legs here today. I've been looking forward to this workout the entire week. To warm up, I went on the cycling machine for 5 minutes and now we're warming up together. High knees, glute kickbacks. We're going to be doing bodyweight squats, leg swings, the whole shebang. Open, close the gates. I'll just coach you through everything. From the first exercise all the way to the last exercise of today's workout, they're all compound lifts. We're not mucking around here today. It's going to be absolutely bellissimo. So as I said, high knees, glute kickbacks. You want to keep your heart rate high immediately because once we start on the first working set, we are starting immediately. There's no slowing down for no one. Now we're going into horizontal leg swings, squeezing your glutes at the peak of every single repetition. And the tempo here is like half a second, 1 second in between each and every single repetition. Switching sides. Can you guess what the first exercise is going to be? Okay. Now, vertical leg swings. Switching sides. Resting 5 seconds. Bodyweight squats. Pause in the bottom, drive up. Pause in the bottom, drive up. The entire time, even during my warm-up, I'm squeezing and contracting my core. You need to make a habit of that very important technique cue. Ish. 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 Very good. We're going to go through that warm-up one more time and then I'll start on the first juicy working set. Horizontal leg swings. Switching sides. Vertical leg swings. Bodyweight squats. Exercise number 1, we have the 45-degree leg press. I don't care what anyone says. This is in my top 3 leg compound exercises, leg exercises of all time. I have been using the leg press since the first week of entering the gym over 10 years ago, and this will always prove to be the creme de la creme of like overall compound leg exercises. I absolutely love this exercise. I personally don't do barbell squats because of my C7 vertebrae, so I can't really put a barbell that high up on my neck. Thus, this has always been my go-to. This 45-degree angled version trumps any other leg press variation. This is the perfect balance of incorporating gravity with biomechanics to effectively target your legs. So first and foremost, for me, I like to put the seat all the way back, as far back as possibly goes. This is because you don't want your core to be constricted when you're coming down. It's the worst feeling ever. In addition to that, I also like to put the platform all the way down. So this is the maximum setting here. I like to put it on the lower setting. That way, it's significantly easier for me to set up when I do set up. So I tuck in lumbar and back completely flat on the bench. Then I place my feet, making sure that the sole of my feet is in line with the position of my knee on both sides. The only unfortunate thing about this specific 45-degree leg extension, as you can see, my feet are coming off of the leg press. However, that really doesn't matter because you're going to be driving through the sole of your feet anyway, so it is what it is. Lumbar, double check, spine, make sure that the sole of your feet in line with your knees, and then the top of your feet out 30 degrees. From here, nice and easy. Hands in the unlock mechanism, unlock, and you're immediately controlling down for 3 seconds. 2, 3, drive up. So there's one thing I want you to pay attention to. Do you see how I've exceeded 90-degree knee flexion? This is 90 degrees. This is beyond that. And every time you exceed 90-degree knee flexion on any leg exercise for that matter, your body has to compensate in some way, shape, or form. My body compensates here by rounding my lower back and lower lumbar up. So past this point, you're going to see my lower back is rounded up in order to compensate for me going past 90 degrees. This I'm going to fix on my next set, but because it's not too heavy, I'm just demonstrating the exercise as you would normally perform the exercise. But if you find that the same thing occurs or happens to you, then I'm going to give you a strategy to implement moving forward. But for now, we're just going to finish this muscle activation set. 3 seconds on the way down. We have 20 kilos each side on the leg press, and I would estimate the platform itself to be around 40 kilos. For my first proper working set, I'm going to show you the exercise from this perspective. The first thing I did, where the machine locks out, I've placed a 2.5 kilogram plate on each side. This is so I prevent my lower back from kicking up as my knees exceed 90-degree knee flexion. You're going to see now my knees are perfectly hitting 90 degrees every single repetition. For my first working set, I've put 60 kilograms each side, 120 kilograms plus the platform itself, I would estimate to be 40, therefore 160 kilograms. I'm going to be performing 15 juicy repetitions. Let's have a look at how to set up from this angle. Lumbar, all the way, back, nice and flat. You're tucking your glutes as far down as possible, even going as far as to push yourself into the seat like this. The sole of your feet in line with your knees. From here, the top of your feet out to the side, 30 degrees. Double check your back one more time, then drive your scapula into the bench, hands to the side, you are ready to go. I like to place my neck firmly flat on the bench as well. That's just personal preference. Hands unlock, 3 seconds on the way down. Seat, 90 degrees, perfect. Driving up through the sole of your feet from start to finish. Easy. 2, 3. Very good. Five. Good Lord. What the hell happened there? 14, let's set up for one more rep. Damn, I've never had that much lactic bloody acid build up in my life. But whenever you reset, make sure you set up again from the first repetition. One more for good luck. Damn. Alrighty, we have thrown 5 20-kilo plates each side, 240 kilos in total if we're plussing the platform, and I'm aiming for 10 solid repetitions. Something to keep in mind here. The only reason I'm jumping the weight up this high is because I can perform significantly heavier. The reason why you increase weight is when you perfect posture, full range of motion, stability and control, meaning tempo and time under tension. If you're unable to perfect any of those three, do not increase the weight. Keep the weight the same, or potentially if it's horrific form, then drop the weight slightly. Let's show you one last time how to perfect the 45-degree leg press. Tuck your lower lumbar as far down into the bench as you can. Make sure your back is nice and flat. Drive your scapula back into the bench. Then the sole of your feet, make sure it's in line with your knees, bringing the top of your feet out to the side by 30 degrees. Just to remind you, I've got these plates here to prevent my lower lumbar from rounding up as I perform maximum range of motion. From this position, take 2 massive breaths. And you're ready to go. 3 seconds on the way down with your tempo, driving up explosively for 1 second. I honestly do not know how many reps that was. I think that was 12 or 13. However, my tempo was shit. I think I was going 1 second too fast. I'll have a look at the footage again, but I'm pretty sure I was. Despite that, however, everything else was still perfecto. Welcome to the final top set. 300 kilos on the platform, if we also include the platform, performing between 7 and 9 repetitions. That is low range hypertrophy. Then I'm gonna triple drop set, taking 3.5 plates off, performing 5 repetitions, repeat, 5 repetitions, no plates, basically to failure at that point. So let's get it. I told you I'm gonna be destroying my legs here today. In addition to increasing the weight, I'm gonna do my best to also increase the time under tension. So the time in which I perform every single rep, I want to maximize that. The tempo I want to increase by at least 1 second. If I don't do that, well, I mean, I've increased the weight the total volume will still technically be higher, but I want volume increased by not only weight, but the total frequency if we times weight, time and attention, and reps. Tuck, flat, sole, feet, neck. Come on, baby. Yes! That was sexy tempo, perfect time and attention, and we got 9 repetitions. So I was able to tick off all the boxes there. I don't know how it looks from that angle, but I promise you I was getting the full range of motion each time. If you want, go back, repeat, replay. You're gonna see I was hitting the maximum depth every single rep. And if you go back to the previous angles, you're gonna see whenever I hit the maximum depth, my knees are at 90 degrees knee flexion. So trust me, your eyes are not deceiving you. I was hitting maximum range of motion. So 2.5 plates off, 3.5 plates off. Good. That's what I wanted. Same thing on this side. 3.5 plates off. Just to show you that I'm not resting in between this drop set. Getting straight into it again. 5 reps. That is the goal. Up. 1, 2, 3, up. 2, 3, up. Is that 5? Can't even bloody remember. And again, 3 plates off each side. Final drop set here. Like I've repeated before, make sure you're resetting in between every single drop set, as if you are resetting or starting again from your next set. Okay, we are gonna wrap it up there. Okay, comrades, moving into exercise number 2 of today's juicy leg day workout, we have a walking dumbbell lunge. Literally the most functional exercise of pretty much the entire gym, in my opinion. This is applicable, actually, I would say it's equivalent to the bodyweight squat or just squatting in general. You can apply it to every single aspect of your life. You drop your keys, yoink. You pick up the kids, yoink. You pick up the groceries, yoink. So you can see how it's applicable to basically anything you do in life. So you need to master the correct technique, first and foremost. Imagine your body is split in half. There's an imaginary line running down the center of your body. From this position, step out 30 degrees and step far enough so your knees do not exceed your feet on the way down. So basically, as you are performing the rep, make sure that you are stepped far enough, you have stepped far enough so that your knees haven't exceeded your feet coming down. I see this far too often. It's one of the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to lunges, or especially walking lunges. So this is what you shouldn't do. Ready? You step narrow, your knees exceed your feet. What happens at this point? Look at the sole of my feet. I know I'm exaggerating slightly here, but this accumulates from rep to rep to rep, and then you have a very bad set. So how to mitigate that? Make sure you're stepping far enough with every single stride, and to avoid your knees buckling in, that is why we are stepping 30 degrees with every single rep. From that point, simply lean slightly forward with your torso to maximize the contraction you receive on your quads in between every single repetition, driving through the sole of your feet as you're driving up, squeezing your glutes and your core. I know I just coached you with a lot of information, and believe it or not, there is more to learn. However, I'll just stick to that for now and just show you a couple reps before I start my first set. So, imaginary line, out 30 degrees, step far enough so your knees do not exceed your feet. As you're coming down, drive up through the sole of your feet, squeezing your glutes and your core as you drive up. Then you reset back at the starting position. This is your imaginary line. One more time. You're stepping out 30 degrees. You drive down 2, 3, through the sole of your feet, squeezing your glutes and your core, leaning slightly forward with your torso as you do that. Very good. We have 12.5 kilograms each side, and we are performing 10 repetitions each leg. So out, step, down, drive, squeeze, reset, up, step, down, squeeze, drive, reset. Go. 10-second rest. Continuing the set. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Very good. Very good. That was basically what a perfect set of walking dumbbell lunges looks like. I can't even speak English. Second working set here on the walking dumbbell lunges. I have 20 kilos each hand, so around 45 pounds. I'm initially going to perform 8 reps on each leg. So 8, 10-second rest, reset, 8 reps. Then, if I still feel like as though I have more in my energy reserves, I'm gonna perform an additional 2 reps each side, okay? So let's start down here. And just really analyze, pay attention to my form. This is my body's midline stepping far enough down, 2, 3, drive up explosively, driving, squeezing to the sole of your feet, through the sole of your feet, through your core and through your glutes. Driving through the sole of your feet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, it's 8. 9. 10. I know I said I'll do 8, but I don't know, I felt really good there. I even forgot, I had already done 8, very strange. So, just basically, I don't know, really touch and go as you please. My target was 8. Nothing wrong with doing an additional 2. 5, 4, 3. Let's go. That was only 9 each side. Yeah. Now, I'm reminding myself why I said that I should rest, or rather do 8 each side, then do 2 more each side. However, I think 10 and 8 is better. In hindsight, I mean, doesn't really matter. I got 10 each side regardless, so it is what it is. Final set on the walking dumbbell lunges. I'm actually gonna bump up the weight again, 22.5 kilograms each hand, so around 50 pounds each hand. I'm gonna do it slightly different. I'm gonna perform 2 reps each leg, and then pause for 5 seconds, 2 reps each leg, pause for 5 seconds, and I'm gonna do that 4 to 5 times, getting a total of 8 to 10 repetitions each leg. The reason I want to perform it like that, mainly to maximize time under tension without sacrificing form. I wouldn't ever recommend doing this really for anyone. I actually just want to test something during this set. Usually I would just say, yep, 8, rest, then 8. So look, we're trying something here together. 22.5, my maximum ever was, I think it was 30 kilos each side, 8 repetitions each side. I also had to chalk up my hands because they were getting very sweaty. Okay, up, 1, 2, 3, drive. 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 Rest. 5, 4, 3, 2. Up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Up, 2, 3. Up. 3, 2. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Go. Rest. 5, 4, 3, 2, final, McFinal. Stop, run. Hey, I need this before I freaking. Yeah. I don't think there was any other way of performing that set, having to reset like that. I don't know if that was a pro or a con, but what is definitely guaranteed there was perfecting my tempo on the way down and the range of motion and the stability and control. So other than the resetting, which I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with, I think that was a perfect set. I'll see you in exercise number 3. If I recall me saying at the beginning of today's workout, I believe I said that I was going to do compound lifts all the way to the end. However, I have realized that I've basically neglected my hamstrings up until this point. So what I was going to do now, I was going to do and demonstrate to you the Smith machine stiff-legged deadlifts. I do believe, however, it is significantly more effective for me instead to be performing the 45-degree lying hamstring curls instead of the Smith machine. The reason being is basically exactly what I mentioned. My hamstrings are so cold right now compared to my glutes, compared to my quads, even my bloody knees, even my calves from the walk-in lunges. So I do genuinely feel as though the proper plan of attack here is 45-degree lying hamstring curls. That is what I'm going to do. However, to spice things up, I'm going to be performing these unilaterally, so one leg at a time. Let's show you how to perform it. I like to always set up first with myself all the way at the back of the knee pad or leg pad or whatever you want to call it, then laying all the way down, positioning my pelvis within the groove essentially. So see there, bang, bang. Now I'm already perfectly set up from here. Hands nice and firm, and position your legs as you would normally when performing both legs at the same time. From here, I'm slightly tilting my leg out to the side, whichever leg you want to start on. For me, it's going to be my left leg, slightly out to the side, and I'm ready to go. So up, squeeze, down, 2, 3. And again, the reason I tilt my legs, pointing my feet out to the side in basically every single leg compound exercise, is primarily to avoid my knees from buckling out. So if I wasn't to do that, ready? Oh wow, okay, that did not feel good. So you saw how my knees came in, then out. So by positioning your leg out to the side from the beginning, you completely navigate that mistake that many people make. Especially actually with unilateral exercises. So as you saw there, if I was performing both legs at the same time, I would instead opt for shoulder width and parallel, because that obviously is not going to happen. Where instead, when you switch to unilateral, I know I'm repeating myself, but yeah, put your legs out to the side. So I performed 4 reps here. Now I'm switching sides. Essentially, like you would on your walking lunges. Not only is the exercise unilateral, but you are also alternating from leg to leg. Well, here, instead of alternating consistently from leg to leg, I like to either do 2 each side or 4 each side. Switch. Now 2 each side. Very good. Very good. Not gonna lie, that was tough as hell. But that felt bloody good. Third and final set here on the 45-degree lying hamstring curl. First of all, this is the third set. Skipping the second set because basically they were the same exact weight and same exact repetitions, 4-4-2-2. However, for this final set, I'm going to be adding an additional 2 drop sets, still sticking to my unilateral when I drop set for each leg. And in addition to that, I've only rested 2 minutes in between each set. When it comes to these super isolation exercises, your rest times, you don't really need to rest that much, let's be honest. Compare that to my first exercise, my second exercise, I was resting anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. Again, I was basically breaking myself. Otherwise, I would suggest you rest slightly less depending on your training age. But at my training age and at the intensity that I'm training at, those rest times are absolutely necessary and needed. So let's set up, run you through the unilateral lying hamstring curl one more time. Position yourself all the way at the back of the leg pad. Drive down, pelvis in the center groove, chest nice and flat, hands nice and flat. Then from this point, position whichever leg you want to start on first, slightly out to the side, and start repping. Up, squeeze, 2, 3. Up, squeeze, 2, 3. Up. Up. That was 4, 2, 8. Up. 4. Switch again. Up. Four. 2 more each side. Golly. Damn, that was so hard. All right, half in the weight from 20 kilos down to 9 kilos. Switching back, left leg. Okay. Right leg. Left leg. And right leg. Man. Half the weight again. 5 kilograms. Let the weight take it. Let the weight take it. And right leg. And right leg. I'm not done, baby. Gah. Ah. And last rep. Ah. Ah. That intensity was basically equivalent to my top set on both the leg press and the walking dumbbell lunges. Ah, can't even sit like this. Ah, God, God. Final exercise of this absolutely juicy workout. I'm going to be performing an exercise I haven't done in a very long time. The elevated goblet squats. Now, I know what people are going to be saying in the comment section. That is junk volume. Blah, 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 blah. I completely and utterly disagree. This is the absolute perfect finisher for a leg day that you intend to absolutely obliterate your legs. Think about it logically. There really is no other exercise right now that I can be performing to finish off this particular leg day. I can't do abductors, adductors. I can't do seated, unilateral, or standing calf raises because that's not my aim today. My aim is to obliterate my legs. I can't do Bulgarian split squats. I can't do any other hamstring exercise. I'm definitely not going to be doing the bloody leg extensions. Thus, what is the perfect compound exercise that I can finish my legs off with? None other than the elevated goblet squats. If you aren't aware, elevated just basically means the sole of your feet are up whilst the front of your feet aren't. Literally as simple as that. Then you get the weight, position it like a goblet under your chin, just like this, keeping your elbows tucked to the side of your torso, squeezing as hard as you can with your core driving down. 2, 3 for me. I like to exceed maximum range of motion slightly, especially with this exercise, as long as I'm maximizing the contraction in my core. Otherwise, what you'll find is, like I mentioned in the beginning of our workout today, if you do not find a way to drive yourself back up, your body is going to find a way to compensate. And it usually does that through your lower lumbar. So, taking everything into account, let me show you how to perform it. First, I would set up with my feet, then position the dumbbell just like this on your knees. I hope I don't smack the mic. Just like this under my chin, this is my starting position. Another way you can start is just getting like a box or a bench in front of you and putting the dumbbell there. Then you can just scoop it up from there. My feet are already in a good position, but you would definitely double check your feet before starting, because you do not want to be making adjustments mid-set. From this position, drive up, maintaining a soft lock on your knees, controlling down. 2, 3, knees have touched, bang, drive up, 2, 3, core contracted, maintaining this beautiful tempo, driving up explosively, down, 2, 3. You can see that my elbows have not moved. My hands have not moved. My neck, nothing is moving besides my knees. Knee flexion, knee extension. Up, tss, ah, 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 ah. Ah, 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 bah. All the way to failure, baby. Come on. Ah, ah. Duh. Wow. Wow. You can't tell me otherwise. That was absolutely freaking juicy. Wow. By the way, 30 kilo dumbbell. Like, the reason I started on 30 is I'm only doing 2 sets here, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Only 2 sets. But those 2 sets are heavy as hell, and both are going to include the same exact drop set that you just witnessed. The battery, the beating, the devastation. I'll tell you what, today has been an absolute 10 out of 10 workout. Like, literally, the definition of this video's title. No clickbait whatsoever. I genuinely went to failure. It was a heavy leg workout, and I absolutely obliterated myself. Final set on the elevated goblet squats. Same weight, same reps. Let's run you through how to set it up one more time. Feet, the sole of your feet, planted, elevated on ideally a plate, or sometimes they have the leg platform for this specific reason. Then your feet only slightly out to the side. I'm stepping outside of shoulder width in order to mitigate my base of support. I don't want to have a wobbly base of support. Then coming down, putting this dumbbell on my knee first, then positioning my hands under the top half of the dumbbell, positioning it under my chin, and I'm ready to go. Squeezing your core, squeezing your glutes, driving through the sole of your feet, leaning slightly forward with your torso. Let's go. 2, 3, up, boop. 2, 3, up, and soft locking your knees at the peak, getting maximum range of motion. Eight reps with the dumbbell, all the way to failure with body weight. Man, my legs are on such a pump right now. I can feel the blood circulating through my veins. Gah! 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 Tap out. Tap out. I finished. All right, so basically what I'll do from here is I'm gonna have a very long cool down. I'm gonna just walk gradually on the treadmill, getting my heart rate right back down to near resting levels, and I'm gonna stretch for about 10 minutes. Otherwise, my DOMS, delayed onset of muscle soreness, is absolutely going to be through the roof tomorrow. I'm not even going to be able to sit on a taller seat. So make sure you are adding your adequate cooling down and stretching, really dependent on how crazy you went in your workout. As you can see today, I absolutely obliterated myself. So that's basically it, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed today's video, if you learned something, please consider dropping me a like, subscribing to the channel, commenting down what you would like to see next, and I will see you beautiful people in the next video.